That's a noise. Hi everyone, welcome to another Court Watch video. How you doing? Hope your Sunday's going well. Let's see what's going on. We gotta hydrate, so I'll do that real quick before we go over the other stuff I missed in chat, and then we'll get right into it. Rockagam, thanks for 46 months at tier 3. Much appreciate it. Mr. Duck Sauce, thanks for a 5 stream streak, says I want tacos. Who doesn't? Tacos are delicious. Dillis Filler, thanks for 23 months, says, get in, loser! We're going court watching. Once again, I forgot to turn off those noises, so that's cool. So what else? Also, I'm dying, thanks for 30 months, says, woohoo? Yes, woohoo! Exclamation point. Thought we were getting rid of the sounds. I know! I forgot! Give me a second, I'll do it right now. It'll take a second and it'll be annoying. Here, look at the bingo card while I fix it. Don't look at me. Don't perceive me. Give me a sec, seriously. I just have to go to manage something. What was the button that let me do this? I could just get rid of it for now, I guess. I'll just get rid of it for now until I figure out where I gotta go to do the thing. I apologize. Give me one sec. The glorious bingo card. It is glorious. How dare you? There. They should be gone now, at least for now, until I can figure out how to turn the sounds off on them. So anyway, welcome. We're gonna watch this guy. This is an insane hearing. This gentleman is a pro se litigant who's been accused of harassing the prosecutor's wife. Basically, he I guess, is being prosecuted for something else, and he started harassing the prosecutor and his wife. He, for some reason, thinks the prosecutor's wife had his wife fired. I don't even know why he thinks that. The prosecutor's wife is like, that says in this, that's not a thing. I don't even know where you're getting that idea. So this is just a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. It should be good. Should be interesting to watch. Well, let's get into it. Hey, Just a Peach, how's it going? And yes, the judge outfit did win. You guys have been voting for the judge outfit a lot, which I'm fine with. All right, let's get into it.
I was ready in October of 1982.
Also, I would like to note his magnificent cartoonish bow tie that I assume he wore to mock the court.
Are you ready, Mr. Myers? All right, you gave me the thumbs up.
Judge outfit might be stinky with all the wearing. I washed the costumes, guys. I washed the costumes. Also, I'm wearing clothes under this. What the fuck?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
So, Mr. Myers, the way it works is I listen to everybody, and someone makes
like, it's legit. Like, that's like a 4th of July novelty bow tie you would wear to, like, a barbecue and get drunk. Like, and he wore it to court.
and listen to them. Then I'll give you a chance to respond.
Did I see the teasers and trailers released yesterday? The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson I did see that looks hilarious, surprisingly. I was really not looking forward to that, but the trailer kind of nailed the Naked Gun tone, so I am looking forward to that. I haven't seen the Superman teaser. I did see the Megan 2.0 teaser, which looks so stupid, I'm excited. And no, I didn't see Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I've not even seen the first one. I've never been into the Five Nights at Freddy's thing. I think I'm just missed the cutoff to be in the generation that's very into Five Nights at Freddy's. H-Baird says, costumes are like jeans. They don't need washing. H-Baird, do you not wash your jeans? Because I don't know how to break this to you. You should wash your jeans. Occasionally. You think the people in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants never washed the pants? No, that's not how this works.
And then I'll rule on the objection.
Thank you.
And we just need to take turns talking. and I get to control that since I'm the judge. So Ms. Walker, you were making an objection. You done with your...
Read it in full, that's helpful, but I think I got through about half of it. But the two main points are that by Mr. Myers live streaming right now, it's actually part of what has caused so much harassment for me, as well as others.
It was a wild sneeze.
Tissue.
I'm listening.
Thank you.
So I do believe that that is a violation of the injunction as it is written.
Thank you. Mr. Myers, are you broadcasting what you're reporting right now?
122H of the Arizona Rules of Procedure.
Mr. Myers, just answer my question. Are you broadcasting?
Yes, I am, and I'm allowed to.
And that's your reading of the rule?
Absolutely, and we can, if we want to argue it, we should do it in a contempt hearing after, not in the middle of my injunction hearing.
If you missed that, he's recording in court or streaming in court, and the judge is basically telling him, like, hey, why are you doing that? You're not supposed to do that. And he's arguing that he thinks he should. And the guy said, we shouldn't be talking about this right now. We should argue it in a contempt hearing. So, that's great. Also, I think he lets him keep streaming, so that's a thing. Miss Quilanius, thanks for 45 months, says, Hannah, have you considered getting fabulous bow ties? I'm told bow ties are cool. Bow ties are cool. I don't think they're very me, though.
Anything else you want to say?
Me? Yeah, absolutely. If you're saying directly the response to that, right?
The objection.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Reply to her.
Anything else?
No, I'm saying I want to reply to her objection. Is that what you're asking me? Yes, I do. I want to. The reason, and I've verified this with the Supreme Court multiple different times, the reason 122H exists, I can literally walk in here without, I did you a favor and notified you ahead of time today. I could have showed up at that door, and as soon as you walked in the room and you said, Your Honor, under 122H, I'm audio recording, and that's why in the rule, coverage is defined as cover and coverage. Broadcast is a separate definition under audio. This is the literal reason. You give out a Zoom link, what do you mean? That's not even an eligible argument because C, if I was requesting coverage under C, you can object. There's no objecting under H because people can walk in and say, Your Honor, I'm
Mr. Myers,
under H.
Thank you.
You can't, there's no
Mr. Myers.
objection to that.
Mr. Myers, I've heard enough. Thank you. The objection is overruled.
Thank you.
The next thing I would like to talk about is, I don't know that we'll have any more hearings on this case, but Mr. Myers, you did email my staff ahead of time.
Yep.
And I don't mind that for logistical type reasons and scheduling type things, but emailing substantive stuff about notices and filings, make sure that you just send my staff things that you've actually filed rather than just emails with substantive stuff in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I called and asked if they want me to send it as an attachment or file it through the court somehow. She said to email it to her.
Right, but just make sure you just, when it comes to substantive stuff, that you only email things you've been filed as opposed to an email that includes a bunch of citations and things along those lines. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're talking about don't send the request to you?
You can only email me substantive things that you've actually filed with the clerk's office.
He's saying don't do ex parte communication with the judge.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Don't just send shit that has it's not even in the case yet. Can't do that.
We didn't need to do the notice with the clerk, that's why.
Charlie Day vibes out of 10. No kidding. He does kind of have like I say this as someone who is diagnosed ADHD. He has a little bit of like chaotic ADHD energy. Like, I don't know. Kind of feel it.
I was confused.
He's wrong and he's a douchebag, but like, I kind of relate to the energy on some days, you know?
The notice, it literally says to file it with you, not the clerk.
Well, for example, you sent me an email, you sent my staff an email that had case citations.
Yeah, so that they had it ready for you today.
What I'm asking you to do is you need to file that stuff with a formal
Oh,
file.
I see what you're saying.
And then if
I got it with me too. I got it with me.
If
Yeah.
it's important that I get it right away, you can email my staff.
I didn't want you to catch you out with case law and Westlaw and then be like, oh, we got to look it up or something.
Thank you.
Here's hers.
The next thing I'd like to talk about with Mr. Myers is the injunction that was issued. Are you contesting the whole thing? or just
Absolutely.
certain aspects?
Every single thing of it.
All right, we have about an hour left today to get through this. Let me just make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of what we're doing here today. The plaintiff has the burden of proof by a preponderance of the evidence, a little more than 50%. The plaintiff has to demonstrate to me that the defendant committed harassment within the year.
What's he being charged with? Harassment. This is about harassment. And I don't actually know if this is a criminal charge. It might just be about a restraining order of some kind. But either way, the matter that they're talking about is this guy is being prosecuted, and he's harassing the prosecutor and the prosecutor's wife. This particular hearing is about the wife and the harassment that he has levied against her, both himself and through his audience, because he has a YouTube channel where he has been directing his audience to call her and harass her.
Harassment is a series of acts over a period of time directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to be seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed, and in fact does so to the person and serves no
Email with a $10 tip says, "Happy belated Trans Day of Visibility, Hannah. Thank you. I appreciate it."
legitimate purpose. The scope of what I'm looking at today is going to be limited to what's in the petition, what's been filed in the petition. Plaintiff goes first, defendant gets to respond, and plaintiff gets a rebuttal. For the plaintiff, what sort of evidence do you anticipate presenting today?
I believe I have about 12 exhibits.
Have they been marked,
They have.
given to the clerk?
They were.
Have you shown them to Mr. Myers?
Yes, we shared a.
She gave me a disc, sir. That's kind of like 1980s.
Again, with people complaining about this. I don't know how to break it to you. Courts were using VHS tapes until somewhat recently. Like, the courts tend to be a little behind on technology. Yes, you're gonna get files on CDs a lot. So if you're gonna be in court and you need to do stuff, maybe buy a disk drive off Amazon. You can get a USB one. Wouldn't hurt, you know? Maybe even one that plays DVDs. And then you get some DVDs too. There you go.
I was told I had to bring it on a
And yes, discs are more 90s, unless he's talking about, like, floppy disks. But
USB stick. They showed
that's not what he means. He means a CD.
up with a CD-ROM that we haven't used since 2001.
Have you looked at those exhibits?
I can't.
Do we have hard copies of them?
They told me don't. I literally went and bought USBs just for today because that's how it was.
Let me ask the plaintiff, do we have hard copies of those exhibits?
I don't have. I have hard copies of the paper exhibits, but not of the digital ones.
The clerk have them?
Literally holding up the CD. Sir, we believe she gave you a CD. That's not in contention. You don't need to prove it. It's fine.
I just have the CDs right there. And then
How am I going to look at the exhibits today during the hearing?
I also have them on a USB, if that's helpful.
It's not helpful because I have to go get a separate computer from IT because I'm not allowed
Right.
to put those things in a court computer. So do you have hard copies of the exhibits today?
Not of. I only have those hard copy discs that I was told to submit to
So dramatic, too!
the court.
I'm just not going to be able to look at them at the hearing. And I don't know how we get them.
Oh, wait until you hear some of these exhibits. The phone calls he and some of his people left her. And to be clear, I'm not like, it's ridiculous. I feel bad for this woman. If I were her, I would be scared because he is kind of a scary guy. Like, we could sit here from a computer and not be in the same room as him and, like, find humor in the absurdity of his behavior. But of course, it's frightening. If someone was harassing you who was behaving this erratically, of course you'd be frightened, and it is scary, but also kind of ridiculous, the messages that they left. Really crazy stuff. Like, I'm talking Marcel, I'm a judge, you're fucked shit. They basically say that in the message.
Without somebody looking at them. Mr. Myers, I assume you're not going to stipulate to have them admitted without having looked at them yourselves?
Her evidence.
Or exhibits?
This is what she gave me.
Are you stipulating to the admission of what's in that disk?
Of course, I want to see it too. But does this court even have a way to play it over there?
Not right now. So,
Your Honor, we did come prepared with a way to play the exhibits, at least on my computer.
But not on mine.
Mr. Myers, you keep interrupting.
I'm about it.
So you have your own
You
computer?
really could have honestly gone to a library. Probably some libraries that have computers that still have disk drives. I'm just saying, if I was in a court thing and I was stupid enough to be my own lawyer, which I wouldn't, I would get a lawyer, I would recognize that it's important for me to look at the evidence before the day, you know? I would find a way to do it.
You can show those?
Correct, I'm sorry, yes.
All right. Other than the 12 exhibits, what's your other evidence?
I have those exhibits, I have an opening statement if you would like to hear it, but if you'd like to go straight into the exhibits, I'm happy to do that as well.
Any other witnesses?
No,
Are you going to be the only witness from your side?
correct.
Thank you. Mr. Myers?
Yes, sir.
What evidence did you anticipate?
What?
What evidence do you anticipate
I-
presenting?
The voice on, you got this in front of you, like the little order sheet?
That's the,
The injunction itself, the petition. I plan on introducing on the 9/12, a recording of the phone call, the voicemail, and a copy of the email and paper that I gave them already. And then I have all these YouTube videos, but I'm assuming they're gonna play my YouTube videos too, but I need to put them under me.
Watch out, bud, your tie's going a little bit sideways on you. Maybe straighten that out. You wouldn't want to look ridiculous in court, would you?
Me too, because of a case I have to appeal, you know what I mean? So I'm anticipating having to give you separate ones of these, right?
Golden Loki says I have a DVD-ROM on my computer that I built last year for exactly reasons like this. I think that's a good choice, Golden Loki. That's a good choice. It's always good to have ways to play DVDs.
Each one needs
I don't have an obsession. I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
to have a separate stick, right? That's what they told me.
have you given that to the clerk
They said not to do it because I only had 3.
to mark as an exhibit?
They said 15 or less, you don't do that.
Have you given it to our clerk today?
This guy right here?
Yes.
Oh no, I thought you meant like downstairs. My bad. No, I mean, is that what I'm supposed to do?
Let me just ask our clerk, do you have any exhibits from the defense?
No.
No, I haven't. No, I didn't send them I was gonna send them to your email earlier, but she said don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Let's see what the plaintiff presents.
Thank you,
The plaintiff presents the same thing you're anticipating, and we only need to admit it once.
To be fair, DVDs are cool. I agree DVDs are cool. I went to the used DVD place today. It was nice. I like that place. They have a bunch of arcade cabinets, too.
All right, Ms. Walker, why don't you stand up and raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. I don't need an opening statement. So if you want to go right into it.
Sure.
Undying says, I'm running Werewolf the Apocalypse, and I had to run a fast game because some people were missing, and I needed a Sobsit compound name, and I was like, Peacemaker Society? I'm sad to say I could not come up with anything better. Also, one of the spirits said they had burning snow, and I thought what they were selling was obvious, but the players didn't get it. I think that's an inspired choice. What's this guy trying to do here? He's trying to make it so he can still harass her, basically. This is about whether or not there's going to be an order stopping him from communicating with her directly or indirectly, and he's trying to stop that order from going through. Also, do trans people in particular like physical media? Because, like, there's a high percentage of trans people that work at this fucking Blu-ray place that I go to. What's up with that? What's up with that? Someone answer that question. That's not rhetorical.
Your Honor, my first exhibits are related to September 12th, 2024.
What's the exhibit number?
Exhibit 1.
Can I say something real quick? Can we just make sure that we're on the same page? As far as I was concerned, The only
Where's my white wig? Somewhere in the box over there. It was terrible. I need to get a new one, because that one was quite bad.
exhibit she could bring was we could talk
It
about
fucks up my hair crazy style.
was these 5 things.
All of my exhibits really directly.
Childhood full of escapism. That's potential. Ultra Undying says, to clear things up, there are evil spirits that enter humans and turn them into monsters, so I wanted a group of snowflake power style sovsits for them to fight. Oh, okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't introducing anything that wasn't on this paper.
Thank you. And just so we're all clear, it seems like we've all agreed that the evidence that I'm to hear today is limited to the scope of what's mentioned in the petition. There is some leeway on that, but that's the general.
Correct. Every single exhibit correlates to the things that are mentioned in the injunction.
Thank you.
Exhibit 1, Mr. Myers called the work number from 520-771-2021 at 8:11 a.m. and going to play George Miller Cathedral.
Hi, my name is Lane Myers, 520-771.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I see you're Director of Special Projects. Well, I'd like to ask if you could approve a special project where you help me end your husband's career for being a crooked-ass cop, prosecutor, wannabe, whatever he is, hiding these cops from prosecution. I figured the U of A, maybe Stacy could help me. Maybe I should talk to you or Stacy or maybe one of these. Because, you know, my wife also is an alumni of the College of Law and is actually has taught there. So, like, we got two sides that are about to come crashing together here. So, you can help me teach your husband how to follow the law, or I'm going to take his career. So, I figured since I'm a member of the community and my wife's an alumni of the law school, that maybe I can get access to the materials at the law school in order to fight for justice, since Stacey's all about justice. So I guess I gotta call Stacey next.
I like that he just casually is like fidgeting with his laptop and stuff while a recording of him going off deranged style is like just happening.
That's the conclusion of
What's he doing with his laptop? He's fidgeting. He's fidgeting.
Exhibit 1.
I get ADHD vibes myself.
Are you moving to...
I do shit like that when I'm like nervous or like something's happening. Like business. Need to do business. Need something. Ah. H-Bird says, let me guess, this is his defense. Not a lie if you believe it? No, it's a different clip.
Was that wrong? Should I not have done that? I tell you, I gotta plead ignorance on this thing, because if anyone had said anything to me at all when I first started here that sort of thing was frowned upon, you know, because I've worked in a lot of offices, and I tell you, people do that all the time.
George Costanza's the best Seinfeld character, bar none, and that's why Curb Your Enthusiasm is the better show, because it's basically the George Costanza show.
For the admission of Exhibit 1?
Yes, I am. I would like to admit this voicemail.
Any objection, Mr. Myers?
Nope.
It's admitted, and the voice...
He had sex with the cleaning lady on his desk. Yeah, I remember. I've seen Seinfeld.
the phone number that was called...
I like Seinfeld for the most part. I know it's not necessarily aged great, but, you know.
Work number
There's still a lot of funny stuff in there.
or home number?
That is my personal work, or my work number at the University of Arizona, 520.
And what do you do at the U of A?
I work at the College of Law. I'm the Director of Special Projects. I work with the Dean.
Mr. Myers, you have your hands up.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how to, like... Well, I wanted her to finish, and then...
I know what he's getting at. I assume he wants to make some sort of, like, point of order, like, but the way he gestured. I feel it! Again, he's an asshole, and he's, like, needs probably therapy, but I really relate to his, like, weird energy. I don't know. Makes me feel bad that I see a lot of my own behavior in him.
Because I want to make a judicial notice of adjudicated fact.
Hold on one second.
Okay,
You can object.
I see what you're
There's
saying.
an objection, and you need to tell me what that legal objection is.
You're gonna let her finish her little presentation on all the exhibits and then I go, or each exhibit and then I go back at her?
So she gets to put on her case,
All the exhibits.
her entire
Okay,
case.
okay.
If there's something you object to, you're allowed to make those objections
In the moment?
in the moment, if
Okay.
it's a legitimate objection. Sometimes that's in the eye of the beholder.
I just wanted to make it known that she is an employee of the state of Arizona.
Mr. Myers?
Okay.
Let me finish.
All right.
I talk
What is it,
slowly, and so if you hear a pause, let me keep going. Once she's done with her case, then you get to present your evidence. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Walker.
Thank you. Exhibit 2 is a paper exhibit. Zoom automatically emails me a document that has a partial transcript when someone leaves me a voicemail. It also has my phone number and the phone number that I received the voicemail from. And I would like to support this, submit the supporting documentation for this call as Exhibit 2.
Any objection?
No, I called her. That's my phone number.
All right. Exhibit 2 is admitted.
Did he get his degree from the
The next
Hudson
exhibit.
Giuliani Law School? Works on contingency. No, money down.
Exhibit 3, I believe this is the same exhibit that Mr. Myers brought. Mr. Myers emailed my husband at 8:19 a.m. stating
Objection, Your Honor. This is her husband. The plaintiff is the plaintiff. What I sent her husband is not relevant.
Objections overruled.
Thank you.
that he was going to visit me at the law school and referenced visiting our neighbors when attempting to cite our home address. This email is Exhibit 3, and I would like to admit this document.
Can I see it?
I also bought that too.
Looking at Exhibit 3, it's an email dated September 12th of 2024. Mr. Myers, is that the same one you have?
September 12th at 8:18. I see your wife works at the U of A Law School. How ironic. Yeah.
He intentionally read the insulting part. Boy, I bet that was just happenstance.
Ms. Walker, what does your husband do?
He is a prosecutor for the city of Tucson.
And does he have any connection with Mr. Myers?
Yes, he was prosecuting a case that Mr. Myers was the defendant in, and he was the defendant at the time that Mr. Myers contacted me.
How do you know that?
I learned that after the fact when I received this voicemail. But at the time, he was still the prosecutor in the case.
Thank you. Go ahead.
The next exhibits are related to September 23rd, 2024. I would like to submit.
Objection, Your Honor. That's not on here. There's no date of September 23rd on here.
Hold on 1 second. I don't know if I said Exhibit 3 is admitted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's admitted, and then the next exhibit is with references what?
September 23rd, 2024.
That's not admissible.
What's the
Your
exhibit?
Honor, I have a piece of
Oh,
paper.
September. I apologize. My bad, Shannon. I apologize. I didn't see the second one. I thought it was 10. Go ahead, sir. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you for withdrawing
The
that.
chaos. The absolute chaos.
Go ahead.
No, I don't think he's coked up. Again, I think, as someone with ADHD, I think he's anxious and I think he has ADHD. That's my vibe on it. Maybe he's got other stuff going on too. But, like, that's my read on the situation.
Exhibit 4 is a video that Mr. Myers posted on his YouTube channel discussing my husband and I. May I play Exhibit 4?
How long is it?
It's probably
That's crazy, Lady Anne. Small world.
about 10 minutes. There were specific parts that are referenced in the injunction that I was going to show. The language that I referenced, I was basically going to just go to those parts as opposed to play the entire video.
That's not fair. Objection. Context.
Objection context.
And we'll be here for, it's about an hour video. Some of these videos are over an hour, 2 hours long.
He wants to watch the whole video. His whole YouTube videos. Like 10 of them. And I think there's streams.
Can you lay the foundation for the video?
Yes, I can. The video is important because it's when
How do you know what it is?
my face, my name, my contact information is displayed in it.
You pulled up the video? You
Yes, I
watched the
did.
video?
Yes, I've seen it myself multiple times.
Exhibit 4 is admitted. We're not going to spend the 10 minutes right now looking at it. Your next exhibit?
Jimmy John's salt and vinegar chips are like some of the best salt and vinegar chips. I don't know why. Real good though.
That is the only exhibit from September.
1 to 2 hours of harassment. To be clear, they have like 10 videos, and each of those videos is up to an hour long. So it's not 1 to 2 hours. It's 1 to 2 hours, like, on multiple videos.
23rd,
Now, to be clear, I'm not saying the entirety of the time of the video is the harassment. I think even she says, like, here are the timestamps within the videos. But he wants them to watch the whole streams. Whereas she's saying, well, here's where he actually talks about me. You know, this timestamp to this timestamp on this exhibit. Basically, he wants to waste the court's time, and she's trying to just show the parts that matter.
My next exhibits are related to October 2nd, 2024.
This is exhibit 5?
Correct. Exhibits 5, 6, and 7 are related to this. Exhibit 5 is also a YouTube video that Mr. Myers displayed on his YouTube channel. I'm happy to play the parts that are referenced in the injunction, if you would like that.
How long is it?
There are...
Sir, that's going to violate decorum in this court, like confirms that there's going to be some... But I mean, it's all legal, but you're going to... Is there kids in here?
Everything I said was legal, but real quick, before we play it, are there children? That's a good sign! That's a great sign that what he said was totally awesome.
Sir, that's going to violate decorum in this court, like confirms that there's going to be some... But I mean, it's all legal, but you're going to... Is there kids in here or anything?
What's the
Okay.
objection? I'm just asking her how long the video is.
The part I would like to play is when Mr. Myers specifically
Hey,
states
Samus.
that I got his wife fired, which he has used as the foundation for his harassment.
Objection, Your Honor. That's more along the lines of defamation, not harassment.
Objection, this would be bad for my case. You joke, but I've already seen this whole hearing. At one point, he goes, objection, and the judge goes, grounds, and he goes, it's not fair. Does his wife actually exist? I guess I don't know. That's quite a reach to say they don't, but I don't know.
Objection, Your Honor. That's more along the lines of defamation, not harassment.
Thank you very much, Maximilian. I'm glad to have you here live. I'm glad you found me.
Objections overruled.
Thank you.
Can you lay the foundation for
Oh,
this?
did he already say that? Shit, I missed it. I must have been talking.
Yes.
Sorry.
Much of the harassment that I have received from Mr. Myers, and as you'll see in subsequent visits from his followers, were based on Mr. Myers claiming that I did something to have his wife fired from her job. And this is the first time that is explicitly stated in any
That's exhibit 5?
correct.
He has followers, some. I don't think he has like a huge channel or anything, but you know, he has some people that watch him.
That's admitted.
Hats off. Kelly, what do you want me to wear for the hats off?
Next one.
You don't need to play, Your Honor?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. The next exhibit is a paper exhibit. In the comments of this video, Mr. Myers responded to a question by
Hello,
saying
Rosoma.
that
Thanks for gifting a sub to Spokane Dogman.
I was involved in his wife losing her job. I would like to admit this as exhibit 6. It's the comments from the YouTube video, specifically when someone asked him if They, meaning myself, and I am not sure if he means my husband or a colleague.
That was the incorrect drink. That one's better.
Were personally
Is
responsible.
he bigger than you, Hannah? Are we punching up or down? Since he's harassing her, I don't think the size of his YouTube channel matters. It's punching up because he's harassing someone.
For his wife losing her job.
And you have a copy of Exhibit 6?
He said,
Would you hand that to me? Clerk will hand it to me. I will take a look at it, and how do you know that
Kelly, don't forget to tell me what you want me to wear for the hats off.
these are the comments to the video that's exhibited?
the comment that I want to.
What did that poor Coke can do to deserve that face? Well, it's been open and sitting on this desk for 4 or 5 days. So, you know.
Is made by Mr. Myers under his handle that all of these exhibits
As someone with ADHD like you, I don't see drug use, yeah.
are,
Also, don't forget to tell me what hat you want me to wear.
that is his YouTube channel.
Any objection to Exhibit 6?
Yes.
What's the objection?
To be clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with the Coke. It's, you know, been sitting here. Coke Zero, so you're not going to get, like, mold growing on it immediately. But it's flat and been sitting there and gross. Do I have a pirate hat? Somewhere. But you're not the one that did the thing. Hannah's choice? Okay.
Okay, what other people said have no bearing on this case, and it's First Amendment protected activity on my YouTube channel.
The objections rule, Exhibit 6 is admitted.
Oh, pirate now? Okay.
The next exhibit 7 is also a paper document. Mr. Myers, using the same handle, posted a subsequent comment with my name, place of employment, and stated that my phone number and email are public information on my workplace website. I would like to admit this document.
Laughing.
How do you know that that's what it is?
It's under the same Lane Myers 2980
That's me.
handle.
That's me.
Thank you. Any objection to Exhibit 7?
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Exhibit 7
Do I have a space hat? Do you mean a space helmet? What's a space hat?
admitted.
The next set of exhibits are from October 8th, 2024.
This is 6 or 7, I mean.
October 8th.
We're on Exhibit 8.
8. Sorry, I apologize.
Your Honor, this exhibit is a video from YouTube. Mr. Myers posted another video in response to a motion that my spouse filed in his Tucson City court matter. In this video, he again discussed
I would argue, okay, if you want to call it's a tricorn hat. It was part of a pirate costume. If you want to argue about it, argue with the person who designed the costume. I didn't design the costume and call it a pirate hat, okay? Anonymous, thanks for gifting us up.
displays my name, picture, contact info, and room number from the U of A website at approximately 54:58, telling people watching the video to, and I apologize.
Pirate hats have skulls on them. I mean, a pirate hat for a 6-year-old.
Share the
In reality, pirates don't look anything like what we look like, have them look like in pop culture anyway. So, you really want to go there with it.
fuck out of this.
Going to be a cartoon pirate? What are we doing here?
He stated that all the motion was going to do was lead to his wife getting
Hey, Polly has his cracker.
at approximately 1 hour and 18 minutes. He also said, I guarantee you, I'm
Is the
going to
pirate hat new? No, but people don't pick it often.
go to the U of A Law School and asked to speak to me at approximately 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 48 seconds. And I would like to admit this video as Exhibit 8.
How long is it?
Pirates wore the clothes of whatever sailors at the time wore. They basically just dressed like sailors, because that's what they were. Their
There-
particular goals didn't come with a uniform.
It's because many of these videos are long. These are the specific parts that are referenced. I do have the timestamps, and I'm happy to go to them if the court thinks that would be helpful.
And how do you know this video is what you're saying it is?
It is the same video, the same YouTube channel.
You watched it personally?
I've seen it, yes.
Are real pirates cooler or not as cool as for fictitious pirates? What do you mean by cool?
Yes, I've seen all of these videos personally.
Any objections?
Yes, Your Honor. This is getting bad now. Okay, so I got to stand up for a second. All right, so these videos are
Yeah, I'll try and add a hack command.
hours long. The way that you're letting her admit these, it makes it seem like I created this video and it's 14 minutes or whatever about her. That's not true. It's 2 hours. It's not fair. It's about my public record, about my case, about my motions in my case that are public records.
What's the legal objection?
Sorry, I'm chewing on salt and vinegar chips as we get the big raid. Welcome, Raiders. Hey, Lumi, how's it going? Hope your stream was good. Welcome, Raiders. I'm Hannah Reloaded. Today we're looking at a pro se litigant just being nuts. This guy has been harassing a prosecutor's wife, and he wore a cartoon bow tie to court, and it's not going well for him. So I'm Hannah. We take a look at weird stuff. We look at court videos. We look at sovereign citizens. We look at conspiracy theorists and talk about what they believe and why. We have fun. So hang out. We also talk about and watch old movies in the public domain. We do a lot of fun stuff here. If you haven't, make sure you check out Lumi. Lumi is great. They are absolutely wonderful. Let me do a shout out command. Wait, that's the wrong command. Shout out. Oop, that didn't work. There we go. Make sure you give a follow.
She's not giving the full video. You need to play the full video.
Objections overruled. Exhibit 8 is admitted.
Would you like me to play?
No, thank you.
Bong Man and Fancy Mechanic, thanks for following.
Exhibit 9 is a paper exhibit. After this video, I received 4 phone calls from different numbers. These calls are depicted on Exhibit 9. I would like to admit this document, which shows phone calls that I received from various unknown numbers immediately after Mr. Myers.
So for those just joining us, this guy is being prosecuted for something, I'm not sure what, but he's upset about that, so he started harassing the prosecutor's wife. He started on his YouTube channel going on and basically telling his viewers, call her and harass her. Not in those exact words, but that was the obvious intent of what he was doing. Now he's trying to, get away with it, more or less.
And the phone calls are to what number? Your work number?
They are all to my work number that was shared by Mr. Myers and that he encouraged people to reach out to me at.
And I was looking at something else, I apologize. Say that again?
Zesty
They are
Zebra
all to
and
my work number,
Toxon, thanks for following.
And they happened immediately the same day after Mr. Myers live streamed and encouraged his followers to reach out to me.
Any objections?
Of course, sir, that's mental gymnastics. There's no way to prove that these people called because of me, and you shouldn't be giving out people's numbers. She's so worried about all this. Why is this being put on a public record? These random people.
It's not so much that, because her phone number is out there. She works for like a public university. As it gets brought up, her information is out in the public. It's not so much that it's out there, it's that you, in the video, pretty clearly, in intent, tried to guide your audience to send harassing phone calls to her. Now, to be fair, he didn't directly say that, but I think we all understand how this works on the internet with some people. Some people try to basically vaguely dox or vaguely mention someone's information in the hopes that some scumbag trolls in their audience will go do what trolls do. It's just pretty obvious what his intent was, and he's not even really trying to hide it that well.
People that we have no way of corroborating if they were calling on behalf of me.
What's the legal objection
My legal objection to her?
to the admission of the exhibit?
We have no way of knowing that these had anything to do with me.
All right, the objection's overruled. Exhibit 9 is admitted. For Mr. Myers, I hear what you're saying there. That's something for me to decide based on the weight of the evidence. If I can.
I'm gonna get to argue that, right, when it's my turn to go back? Right, okay, cool, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure if I had to make those legal arguments right now, or just...
Again, you're interrupting me. I don't think you need to, but you're interrupting me.
Hey, Dark Beast, thanks for a 10-stream streak, says we need to get you this costume at some point. Now do the release from the garbage can line. Oh god, it's a, oh no, it's a Rita Repulsa costume. Oh, the cone tits on it. The cone tits are so cone titty. I don't know how much you guys can see this in oh, you guys can barely see it. I open the image at another thing. Either way, it's very cone titty. after 10,000 years, I'm free. Time to conquer Earth.
Based on the evidence, I have to figure out if I want to
Debate lording the judge. Actually, judge. Hamrit, Eric, thanks for following.
draw an inference that you're causing this or people are acting on it. We're on exhibit
Sexy Rita Repulsa. Do you just mean Rita Repulsa?
10, I believe.
Yes.
Put respect on her name.
Exhibit
She's
10
the 10,000-year-old MILF from the moon. I don't want to hear otherwise.
is a voicemail. It's about 30 seconds. I specifically received 2 calls and voicemails from Deborah Moore at 360-633-9136. The first voicemail is Exhibit 10. May I play this exhibit, Your Honor?
How do you know
Samus with 500 bits to the Rita Costume Fund. Thank you.
what it is?
It is someone
You
that...
listen to it?
Yes, I have. I've
He's
listened.
supposed to be repulsive? Then how did she pull Lord Zed? Lord Zed is also hot. Hot take. Lord Zed is as hot as a Lovecraftian, probably not even Lovecraftian. What would be a more apt description? Clive Barkerian monster. Anyway, Lord Zed's hot.
To it myself.
Recorded it off
Ivan
your own phone.
Correct. It
Ooze,
came directly
not hot.
from my workplace.
Unless you're into goo. He might do it for you.
Any objections to 10?
Of course. Who is Deborah Moore? I've never met her in my life.
All right, the objection's overruled. You can play, Exhibit 10 is admitted and you can play it.
Thank you. And I will note that you can hear Mr. Meyer's video in the background of this voicemail.
Because he has no skin and keeps his body.
This is not on the paper, sir.
Funny.
It's not on here.
What's the objection?
This is not on here.
You said this,
These phone calls were not mad. These were not on the petition. Nothing about other
Winona-
people calling her
Winona
are on this
Planets, thanks for
petition as an
following.
act leading to of a harassment. This is all going off the rails. You're just where is show me Deborah Moore on the petition. Show me the name Deborah Moore on the petition.
Mr. Meyer, what I'm hearing you say is you're objecting that the evidence is beyond the scope of the
Of
petition.
course.
Were Babu and Squat part of her polycule? Yes, and Goldar gets the cuck chair.
It's not even on. Who's
He
Deborah?
likes it though. It's fine. Remember that like kind of empty room with the fog that the Red Ranger fought Goldar in? That's normally their cuck room, the room they do the cucking in. But the chair was out for repairs. Why am I making these? We just had a 100 raider raid. And the jokes I'm making are the worst things I've ever... you know what? I can't even say. This isn't even bottom 40%. This is middling. God damn it.
Deborah Moore.
You're interrupting me. Couple things. You seem like you're getting angry. Your tone of voice is changing. It makes it hard for me to pay attention when that's going on, so I'll ask you to lower your voice. Second, in my opinion, this is all within the time frame and the scope, and the petition does mention getting phone calls, so I think this falls within the scope. of the petition.
I'm mediocre. Hey, my whole life is built on mediocrity. Don't knock it. Lennon Cat says, on the subject of publicly available information, consolidating publicly available information like phone numbers and social media handles can make that information classified information. Classifications are about how dangerous the document can be if it falls into the wrong hands. Your consolidated public information works the same. Oh, interesting.
Go ahead and play the objection's overruled. Go ahead and play phone call. That's Exhibit 11, right?
This is...
Claiming the judge. You see other things. Oh yeah, my confidential informant Mackenzie O'Brien doesn't feel safe. She doesn't have any fucking rights because she lied.
You're fucked, bitch. You're fucked.
You fucked
That's
up
not me.
during that fucking idiot.
You're fucked up, bitch. You're fucked. Not great. A little bit harassing.
You had a drag on 30 dick drag you got.
We need a day where you read sexy Power Rangers fan fiction. I can't read sexy fanfic. Well, I can't read explicit fan fiction on stream. I could read, and I've thought about this before, reading bad fan fiction before. Just like a funny, read bad fan fiction. But I can't read explicit fan fiction, which is unfortunate, because there's some Steve Bucky stuff out there that's hilarious.
Matt Walker, not a fucking responsible piece of
No, probably not like My Immortal is like on the nose intentionally bad.
garbage. Are you worried? Going down.
It's like an asylum film. It's trying too hard to be bad.
He's gonna wind up in fucking prison. You're gonna wind up in prison next to him. The general populace is gonna own all your fucking property. Stuff. And have a someday for this shit. You are done.
And that was Exhibit 10, and that was a voicemail message left on your work phone?
Correct.
Thank
Correct.
you. Exhibit 11?
Exhibit 11 is a...
By the novelty bow tie, I think he's trying to make fun of the court. He's trying to make fun of the proceedings by dressing himself up like a clown and not taking it seriously.
This is pretty document for that voicemail that I received on my personal work line from Zoom. I would like to omit the transcript and the phone call evidence of that exhibit.
Any objection to 11?
Yes.
What's the legal objection?
It's irrelevant and it's not in the scope.
The objection is overruled. Our last exhibit?
Yes, exhibit 12 is the second voicemail that I received from this same individual. I would like to admit this voicemail as exhibit 12. It's also about the same amount of time.
And this is one you listened to on your own voicemail?
Correct. Listen to it personally on my work voicemail.
Any objection to Exhibit 12?
Yeah, it's from a random person.
Rainey says, unless it's not, they've never proven anything about My Immortal one way or another. I mean, if the Eye of Aragon can and does exist as a genuine effort in literature, then well. It's just too on the nose. For me. In my assessment of My Immortal, it's too on the nose. It hits every single, like, trope. It hits everything. They go to a fucking My Chemical Romance concert with Draco Malfoy. Like, come on.
Person that has no connection to me.
I thought Strange Aeons found out who made My Immortal. I don't remember that video very well, though I did watch it. I think it was still inconclusive. Like, there's not a for sure answer. It's kind of like the Zodiac Killer. There's people that it maybe leans more to, but there's no for sure.
Overruled for the same reasons. Go ahead and play it.
Are you the dumb shit that married Matthew Walker? If you are, you're going down in flames. Okay? Honey? Honey,
Ew.
just so you're aware, you're fucked. You're literally fucked. People are going to be fixing your ass in a prison cell
Oh, that's disgusting.
for your corrupt husband and your criminal behavior. You're fucking criminals. You think you can pervert justice? We, the people, will own your ass. Literally. And figuratively. Get ready, bitch. Get ready. This fucking is coming. We're gonna fist fuck your ass. Get ready, honey. Cannon. It's coming. You fucked up, honey. You married a fucking ignorant boob. You married an ignorant fucking boob. And he's gonna get you in a whole world of shit. You already had it.
Him
You just don't
smiling
realize.
about this is telling. Oh yeah, and he's gonna claim that his reaction is from a text message he got from his wife, but it's like he hasn't even been looking at his phone for a little bit. He's straight up reacting to this harassing phone call and, like, thinks it's hilarious.
You're gonna realize it tomorrow. I guarantee you're gonna realize it tomorrow. You're fucked. All the fucking legal fucking maneuvering and wrangling, you ain't gonna fucking do shit. You're gonna dig your fucking
He
hole
stuck
in
up
your
a
feet
fist.
and
Did you see
shoot
that?
your
He did
thumb.
like a, yeah, fist. I'll go back in case you missed it. There's the fist. It's literally in the air. He's doing, like, the... Look at him, man! Come on!
Illegal fucking maneuvering and wrangling, you ain't gonna fucking do shit. You're gonna dig your fucking hole even deeper, you stupid cunt.
Mr. Myers, when that video was playing, it seemed like you were trying to hold back laughter, and then you kind of raised your fist up as if you were supporting the comments that were in that.
No. My suit's a little short.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
Insufferable liar.
Okay. Well,
That's what the court's putting on the record. That's what it looked like to me.
that what?
You were laughing and enjoying what you were hearing, and that you were supporting those comments.
I couldn't have been laughing at my text from my girlfriend.
You could have.
You weren't. We watched you. You weren't even looking at the phone while you were doing reactions. You were looking at your phone for a while, but then you stopped and you were like down like this and weren't even looking at the phone and you were still reacting.
But I just don't
It's
believe
literally on camera.
you.
Oh, okay, that's
I was
fine.
watching you closely.
Well, the record will state I got a text from my girlfriend telling me to calm down, but okay. Yeah, roll your eyes.
Again, I don't believe you. I'm just making.
I don't believe you.
That's all right. You don't have to believe me. Your next evidence.
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize. I said there were 12 exhibits. There are actually 13. If you'll permit me to submit the transcript of the voicemail that I received on my personal work phone and have listened to myself.
All right. Any objection to 13?
Of course.
What's the legal objection?
Out of the scope.
Objections overruled for the same reasons. 13 is admitted.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. There is one more final exhibit.
14?
This truly is the last one.
I don't have that.
It relates to October 9th, 2024.
Let's see what it is.
I don't have it.
1 second. Let's see what it is.
This is a live YouTube video on Mr. Myers' channel. He went live on his YouTube channel and came to the law school to look for me. This video is Exhibit 14. Mr. Myers first stands outside of my office door, approximately 5 minutes and 15 seconds of the video, matching my office door to what is on the website. My nameplate is no longer on the door because it was removed from the door on the advice of the University of Arizona's threat management team due to Mr. Myers' actions toward me. Mr. Myers asked various colleagues where I
Yeah,
was
his name's something Myers. I don't know.
and stood outside my office in approximately 7 minutes and 30 seconds. He tells my colleagues that he wants to interview me because I got his wife fired from her job at approximately 15 minutes and 20 seconds. And near the conclusion of the video, he states that he would have to try again to come talk to me at 28:11. I would like to admit this video.
And this relates to the allegations on October 9th of 2024?
Correct.
And you know this is the video because you watched it?
I did watch it myself.
Any objections to 14?
Yeah.
What's the legal objection?
They cut the chaotic arrangement of his bag, too.
Constitution.
Again, the guy's a dick, but I relate to the chaos. The chaos is... I live in the chaos. I kind of feel that.
Protected activity.
That objection is overruled. It doesn't prevent it from being admitted.
That is the conclusion of my exhibits.
Any other testimony from you that you want to have in your case in chief? And if so, you can head to your table.
I think I am finished. Should I leave the exhibits here?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you head back to your table? I'm going to have some questions for you.
Of course. Should I take this?
Your Honor, should I give these sticks to him right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
Didn't they literally say they're not going to put him on the sticks for you because of the security issues involved?
Ms. Walker, how were the YouTube videos brought to your attention?
I've
Playing
had
with his phone a lot, too. Again, even if he does have ADHD like I do, if I was in court, it would be difficult, and I'm sure I'd fuck up sometimes, but I would try my hardest to be like, okay, brain, this is the one time in our lives you need to try and behave, okay? We are focused, we are looking frontward, we are listening, we are attentive, you know? I'd make an effort. H. Baird says, did the court mic every single piece of paper, did the court mic every single piece of paper he's carrying because it's so rustly?
initially, a number of people reached out to me to say, I heard about this.
Is there an American flag in his bag? Kind of looks like he's got a tiny American flag, or is that a backup tie in case they yelled at him about this tie? He's like, okay, I have a slightly less comical tie, but it's still mocking you. It's his backup mocking tie.
I've had colleagues who have seen them and sent them my way. Also through my spouse and his work. I just became aware of them and in Mr. Meyer's channel. I'm sorry, I can't remember how I originally learned about it.
And in the videos, according
Yeah,
to
it could be a handkerchief. Maybe he had a pocket square
Mr. Myers, is your
situation.
name and phone number?
Correct. My name,
Juggle will do.
my phone number, all workplace, phone number, email, office number, encourages his followers to come visit me and says anyone can come visit me, and obviously visited me himself.
And does he say why they should come visit you?
No, my impression has been that it was all so that I could be intimidated and by extension my husband out of no longer prosecuting his case.
And from your perspective, is there any reason that Mr. Myers should be having any sort of contact with you?
Absolutely not.
And have you ever told him to stop having contact with you?
I did
We've
it.
never spoken. I've been afraid of him. But, Your Honor, I will add that Mr. Myers has never in any way indicated why he would reach out to me for any other reason, and he has explicitly stated it was because I'm married to Matthew Walker, who's the prosecutor, or was the prosecutor in his case.
Thank you. Any other evidence?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Myers, it's your turn to present your evidence.
How do you want to do it if it's the same thing she already?
You don't need to, it's been admitted.
So we can both use that. I can call up exhibit
You can refer to it.
when it's my turn to go up and present and stuff.
You can refer to it. I don't know that I'm gonna let you play it because,
So if I want to play it, I need to go through the same thing she just did.
no, you can reference it. It's already been admitted. Just tell me what it is and what about the exhibit you want me to focus on.
Well, I want to admit it so that I can play it.
I'm not gonna allow it to be played. We don't have the time today to do that. So you can summarize what's in the video, what you think is important about it.
So we're not going to actually watch the video that led to an injunction?
Not right now. You can tell me all about it. Tell me what you think is important about it. It's been admitted.
About her. Am I supposed to be rebutting her evidence or presenting new evidence?
It's your case. It's
Oh,
your
I thought you
time.
wanted me to come up there with the computer.
Karen, I got it. I got it. Thank you, Karen.
Don't I got to bring this over here?
No,
Oh, okay.
you don't.
She said to play it on there, dude.
It's already been admitted, so
Well, I have different videos too.
He's just representing himself. He's not an attorney.
what exhibits do you have that are different?
A recording of the hearing with her husband where he asked for the same thing and got denied.
Why is that?
Yeah, that's not relevant. It's not relevant to this at all.
Relevant.
Because her husband, before this injunction was issued, her husband tried to get one for the same reason and a judge denied it.
All right.
He was trying to get it as a part of another case. This is a separate thing where they're seeking a restraining order against you. This is its own matter.
I'm finding that's not going to be relevant.
No, for her, he tried to get an order, a court order. Listen, maybe I failed to articulate myself properly. Listen, the case she referred to about him prosecuting, he came to court and asked the judge to issue a change of conditions of release that I couldn't contact his wife or make videos about his wife or say anything about his wife, and the judge looked him straight in the face and said, he's a news reporter, it's First Amendment activity, I can't stop him from doing that, he's not breaking the law. So what'd they do? They went over to Judge Walton and tried the same thing that they just got denied with the day before.
All right, that's not relevant for what I'm doing here today. I'm my own judge. I get to make my own decisions on it.
Another judge denying it is not relevant?
Doesn't bind me right here, right now.
So you're denying my exhibit?
Yes, I don't think that one's going to be relevant. Do you have another one?
Am I gonna get a chance to make legal arguments?
This is your chance to present evidence. After everybody's done with the evidence, then I'll hear a closing argument.
Okay, so you see,
Is
so
this the guy who goes to the post office to record like a creep? Not to my knowledge. Are you thinking of Glenn? That's a different guy. He got arrested at the police station after harassing a bunch of people and setting off the alarm. And this isn't a crime, but he peed and then didn't wash his hands. Pretty gross. Did that on camera. Like, when people could see it. Why?
I want the email for sure.
I'm not sure you say the email.
The one that she...
He did the bullshit thing where he peed at the urinal and then he went over and he, like, activated the sink with the motion activator, but, like, didn't really wash him. He just activated it so it sounded like it was going off, but it was on camera. We could see him do it. I don't know if he realized the camera was on it. I don't know, man. Just wash your hands. Nasty.
Put in here. The one that we said where it says...
I'll take it too.
Oh, wait.
That's okay. Thank you.
I see your work for you, right?
That's been admitted. I can't remember what exhibit it was. But
So anything that she already put in that I want to use, don't talk about right now?
you can talk about it, but I'm not going to allow videos to be shown.
Oh, I get what you're saying. No, I'm saying, right now we're just saying, do I have anything to add to this, essentially?
Any additional evidence?
Right, other than this. And that's what I'm saying. I wanted to add that hearing. Okay.
And I'm finding that that's not going to be
Okay.
relevant.
And you're saying with other parts of the same video, she wants to admit, there's a video on October 2nd. She wants to admit one part, I want to admit a different part.
My understanding is
She edited hers down to like a little clip. I want to play the whole video. I want to admit the whole video for context.
copy of it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's on the sticks.
then which stick? Show me the stick.
Yeah, these. I got one for exhibit 1.
You'll be letters. So
Hey,
you'll
I'll be letters? Okay.
How many do you have?
I have 2. If you're not going to let me write no on the other one, right?
No on the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to do 2. I want to do,
So what will exhibit?
we want to call it A.
What will exhibit A be?
He's like on the fly throwing this shit on flash drive.
A is the video where I went to
I've
the
been following the Wes Watson saga. No, who's that? What did they do?
school
I've been following the Johnny Somali trials,
that she was referring to.
but I don't want to cover it on stream because I have nothing to say about it.
Okay.
That I stood outside her room and all
Who's
this.
Wes Watson?
That's the one I just gave her. So that's exhibit A. That's the whole video, not the little 2 minutes that she wants to show. That's going to show proper context of the news report.
1 second. Let me see if there's any objection to that.
No, I don't have an objection.
So exhibit A is admitted. Do you have another exhibit?
Yes.
That would be B as
Yes. This one is the one she was referring to.
Johnny Somali is screwed. I hope so. I really do. He deserves it. Nuisance streamers are just the worst. I hate them.
Let me see what I want to label this. Like, I want to, because I know it needs to be contextualized the right way. Oops. Can I see that one for a second, just because I want to make sure I'm not giving the same thing twice? I apologize. I thought there's really no way to write on
I'm
it or
gonna
anything.
skip past when they wrangle all these flash drives.
Go to her office. I don't want to
There we
And is there anything about exhibit A that you want to highlight for me right now?
me.
And the guy got arrested somewhere else for doing the same shit as Johnny. Yeah, he's like a Russian-American streamer. Told a lady he was gonna rob her.
Specifically, yes.
Vitaly is his name? Is it Vitaly?
My interactions with the staff throughout the whole video, from the time I walk up there, that I ask if it's public. Am I allowed to be here? Am I allowed to go in this space? Her colleagues tell me, yeah, go ahead. You want me to go get her for you? They didn't say, oh my God, you can't be here. You got to leave. They said, sure, we'll go get her right now. You want to go to her office? We'll walk you to there. I said, well, I don't want to go to her office. I don't want to like have her open the door and Lane Myers is standing there. I went there intentionally when she was not there. And that's what the video is going to show.
Okay, thank you.
I rejected, her colleague did offer to take me and I said no.
Any other evidence you want me to hear?
Evidence?
Not argument, but evidence.
Evidence, that's what I'm saying. No.
Let me ask you.
It's self-explanatory that the petition's gonna be in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of the profile. Let me ask you some questions then.
Sure.
One of the things that I'm going to be asked to think about is whether or not you have a legitimate purpose
Of course.
for your interactions. What is your evidence that what you're doing when you interact with the plaintiff is for a legitimate purpose?
So you're asking me to make a legal argument?
I'm asking if there's any facts that you want to tell me about that would
Tucking in his
Material
pants
facts?
in
prove that
court,
you have
talking to the
legitimate,
judge.
Yes, absolutely.
for what you're doing.
Absolutely. You want me to start now?
Facts, not the argument.
Oh, not,
Should I start now, Judge?
The facts, yes, the facts are that the facts of why
See the guy that got kicked out of Japan because they didn't want to deal with him anymore? Johnny? Yeah.
I initially contacted her were pretty self-explanatory in the voicemail. The reason I felt I could contact her because she's a state employee, she's a public employee. She receives public funds. It's First Amendment protected activity. I looked at the, we can't make legal arguments. I looked at the injunction for harassment rules. She didn't meet the standard. She never told me to stop
Trey, you have missed this guy being bad at his own defense.
her.
Giving me anxiety because he's so fidgety.
Ever in my life, I've left one voicemail ever, and she's never told me to never contact her again. All of a sudden, there's this injunction. So, like, if one of the standards is there needs to be more than one, and you need to be told that you're harassing me. I was never put on notice. And first of all,
Why do you think you need to be told?
because if somebody's being harassed, you can't just allow the other person to keep harassing them and not tell them. If you feel you're being harassed, she needs to go to, like she said, she went to the law enforcement. We'll get into that. But the facts are that she's a public employee. Her email is .edu. Her phone number is listed on a public website, just like your phone number's on a public website, just like your email's on a public website, just like your name's on a public website. You're both employees of the state of Arizona. It was a legitimate business. I didn't mention the case in detail, all that. I assume she didn't know nothing about it, but now she's saying her husband was talking to her about it. Well, that sounds,
This seems more like argument.
I feel you.
Any other
I feel you, Judge, and other appropriate things to say while in court. I feel ya.
evidence?
No,
I hereby declare that you do indeed feel me.
evidence-based talk. No. If you want me to get into my law argument, no. Okay.
Thank you.
Case law and stuff, no.
Ms. Walker, rebuttal evidence? Testimony, anything?
Your Honor, I think Exhibit 1 speaks for itself. Mr. Myers left a voicemail saying he wanted to speak to me about my crooked...
Wear a belt. I think he should have worn suspenders. Really comical, like, America-themed suspenders, and he should have just done this every once in a while. Just to really show him who's boss.
husband, who's a prosecutor. He did not once ask to speak to me about anything that the law school does. He asked to speak to me about my husband, who's the prosecutor in his case.
Who's also a public employee.
1 second. Give me some more detail about what your day-to-day activities are in your job.
I work specifically for Dean Miller. I write his letters, his remarks. I work with various legal boards. I work with attorneys. Mr. Myers is not an attorney.
Do you have any connection with your husband's office?
Is this the sequel to My Cousin Vinny? Here's the thing. At least Vinny actually went to law school and has a law degree. The problem was he doesn't understand court procedure because he went for contract law. And mostly to be like a scumbag. This guy doesn't even have that.
Do I, personally? We work together occasionally.
My Cousin Vinny is great, by the way, if you haven't seen it. One of the best courtroom comedies of all time.
You know, my husband is an alum of the law school, and, you know, Tucson is a small legal community, as I'm sure you know, and there's just
But in your capacity in your job, do you have any connection with the city attorney's office?
Not really. Not really.
Yes or no?
Mr. Myers, you don't get to say that. I'm asking the questions. To my ear, that sounded kind of rude.
My
so
bad.
Please stop.
Didn't
No,
Vinny
you're
just pass the New York bar exam like a month before? Yeah. Amber hasn't seen it. That's crazy. That's a very funny movie.
All right, I've heard all the evidence. Now I will hear oral argument. We'll start with Ms. Walker because she bears the burden of proof. In terms of the elements of harassment, just walk me through why you think they've been met. And then when I look at the injunction, there is some language in it that does concern me in terms of its overbreath. The last sentence says the defendant is prohibited from posting any messages or content regarding the plaintiff via any social media platform. That strikes me as broad and probably too broad for constitutional First Amendment type issues. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that and whether it could be narrowed in a way that would make it constitutional.
So, to your question, Your Honor.
Probably refrain from posting any contact information on social media would be the appropriate way to go with it. I understand what the judge is saying, making sure they're not, like, chilling his free speech rights. So probably something along the lines of you're not allowed to your audience or on social media, post and, you know, the word I'm looking for, emphasize her contact details.
Harassment is conduct, not speech. I have copies of Arizona Court of Appeals cases, State v. Brown from 2004 and State v. Snyder from 2024, further explaining that if the court would like to review those. I'm not asking the court to restrict Mr. Myers' speech on political matters or general topics, but Mr. Myers has harassed me personally and posted videos about me on his YouTube account. In those videos, he has posted my place of employment, work email and phone number, and office number, and asked his online followers to harass me as well, which they have done many, many times.
Aren't there specific laws against brigading under harassment? He does, I don't want to spoil it too much, but to be clear, he does lose. She does get the, order. They're just mostly quibbling about the specifics at this point, but I think at this point the judge has already determined pretty much that he is harassing her. They're just defining it specifically in what ways he is and what they're going to do about it. Like what she said, differentiating conduct from speech, same.
And the elements for a series of events and why this is harassing and whether or not you've actually felt harassed?
In terms of the, yes, it does.
What are the series of acts?
Well, I believe that is shown in my injunction.
I'm just asking you to walk me through it.
Of course. Would you like to go by date?
The first date, when you made the phone call. The
Yeah,
other one,
I did see Jay's a proxy. I'm curious what's going to happen with Firefest 2. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be as interesting as the first time. It'll probably get canceled, like, before anyone has an opportunity to even try and go. But who knows? I'm all for another dramatic documentary on the topic.
September 23rd, October 2nd, October 8th. Let's just take September 23rd.
Sure.
The YouTube channel, that was not sent to you, right? Somebody told you about it?
Someone told me about it, and then I went and viewed it myself.
So, in my mind, it's hard to see how that's directed at you.
I think Mr. Myers says in the video that he's studying his opponents and specifically shows my photo after that. And this was also right after he showed my husband's contact information as a prosecutor and implied that I am his opponent.
It's definitely about you, but I don't know how it's necessarily directed at you. The second saying these videos were not sent to you, someone told you about them.
Correct.
October 8th, there are people calling you. Your petition says that the...
Sorry, this is like a non-issue, but I'm just very curious. Why is he pouring
Someone told you about them.
the water under
October
the
8th,
table?
there are people calling you.
Why is he pouring the water? Why? What? He took a pitcher of water, and then he, like, went under the table with it to fill it? I'm just trying to understand the thought process on why he's doing that. I don't understand. What is he doing? Like, I kind of understand if he didn't want to do it right on the table, because there's a computer, but, like, I don't know. That's just weird to me.
Your petition says that the videos were encouraging, that Mr. Myers was encouraging his 8,000.
So as not to spill it? I'd understand if he had, like, fine motor control issues, but I don't know.
1,000+ followers to contact you.
Correct.
What
Like, are people that concerned about spilling, like, do they not pour things?
makes you think that he was encouraging them? What in the video supports that?
He explicitly asked his followers to share my contact information and to reach out to me.
Rugged,
and
man.
The
He's
justification
going for
was
it.
that I had his wife fired.
And then coming to your place of business on the 9th, is there any reason that he would need to do that?
No, There's no reason. The College of Law is a building that has a public law library. Mr. Myers did not have any business to come see me specifically. He claims he's a news reporter. That was news to me. He told my colleagues I had his wife fired. My colleagues were put in a terrible position of not knowing what to say to someone that they knew had been, as far as I'm concerned, harassing me and threatening me with no one around at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. So it caused a lot of fear and upset for me personally.
And the language that's in there, are you saying that it's because of those cases and the idea that a court can regulate conduct, and sometimes conduct and speech can be mixed together? Are you saying that that language is appropriate, or are you suggesting it can be narrowed?
I don't think so, Myco Psycho. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and I haven't drank in years, and I didn't get the vibe that's what he's doing. First of all, he's not acting drunk. He's acting energetic, if anything. Secondly, it would still be too out in the open. I know what covert drinking looks like, and I don't think that was it.
I believe that it's appropriate because it refers to me specifically and the harassment, threats, and stalking that I've received, not just from Mr. Myers, but a very large extent from his followers. If I were to put every single thing that had occurred, we'd have about 100 exhibits in terms of names, things that have been said about me.
Why can't an individual post, and I'll just use myself as an example, I mean, someone could post whatever they want about me, nice things, bad things, and you know, it's not directed at me, it's just out there in the public. They're allowed to do that. And
Maybe. Everyone keeps saying they think it's drugs. Again, I really don't get drug vibes. Like, people are, you know, you can have your own opinion, that's fine. I just think he seems like, again, like he has ADHD of a particular variety that makes you very, very active, makes you, you know, fidgety, you know? And I just don't think he's masking very well of the situation.
I'm kind of more of a public figure than an individual, but I think it would apply to an individual as well. You know, and people might send it to me and I might not
Let me
like
put it this way. This guy's, like, energy is kind of how I act when I'm not masking at all. Like, if I'm alone, I don't act like that around any other human person. But yeah, like, the weird... Yeah. Yeah. You know?
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's
As of March 25th, I'm 4 years sober from alcohol. Nice.
directed at me.
I do believe that it's directed at me specifically because of the contact that I've received specifically at my work email, my work phone number. I'm not really sure what someone might do.
I think that's different. If what I'm hearing you saying is that you're asking me to draw an inference that
He's not hyper-focusing on what's going on, which is also an 88. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you're going to hyper-focus on everything. Like, I have a hyper-focus on certain topics. Like, I have, like, a special interest in Blu-rays, and I can hyper-focus on that. But if it's a topic that's not part of my special interest, I can't focus on that.
maybe
And you can't choose what you hyper-focus about either.
an inference.
So I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that's a piece of evidence that he isn't.
You're saying there's two.
I'm not here to diagnose him. I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to show, even though he's a bad guy, some empathy towards the behavior, so people don't look at people like this and automatically assume they're on drugs. Because, like, imagine if you're just some normal person with ADHD, and you maybe, like, fidget or whatever, and then people are just gonna look at you and go like, oh, that person's on drugs. Like, no! Have some empathy for people who are different.
There's specific evidence that Mr. Myers is.
To be clear, on top of that, I know this guy is a douchebag, but, like, you know, the behavior is different than the fact that he's a asshole. Our special interest is anthology series. Ooh, look at my anthology series. Twilight Zone, Twilight Zone, Twilight Zone, Twilight Zone. Outer Limits, Amazing Stories, Ray Bradbury Theater, Hammer's House of Horror, Monsters, Tales to Keep You Awake, Night Gallery, Inside Number 9, Tales from the Crypt, Creepshow, Tales from the Dark Side, Black Mirror. That's all. Oh, one step beyond. There's another one.
asking others to contact you essentially on his behalf.
I do believe that there is, Your Honor.
And the harassment statute, which is ARS 132921, says that a person commits harassment if the person knowingly and repeatedly commits an act or acts that harass another person, or the person knowingly commits any one of the following acts in a manner that harasses. And the first one is contacts or causes a communication with another.
Yes.
And it strikes me that
Tales to
you're
keep you
telling me
awake.
that
Never heard of that. Yeah, it's Spanish language. Yeah, this is a Spanish language anthology show. I think this is from Mexico. 31 episodes. It's more like trying to compare it to something. Night Gallery? It's more Night Gallery than Twilight Zone. It's horror. Gothic horror, often. Altered Undying says, I managed to score Jim Henson's The Storyteller while thrifting. Oh, that's a good one. I'm looking for The Storyteller, Storyteller Greek Myths, and Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater. All of which are out of print. That's a good get.
YouTube videos, what's in them.
Have I seen Love, Sex, and Robots? I think I tried to watch the first episode and I just wasn't that into it. I also don't have Netflix anymore.
Your contact information is in them. The fact that they are either explicitly or implicitly
Wish you'd see a DVD release of Freddy's Nightmares. Same. I have a bootleg, but I really would like a actual set.
encouraging people to contact you.
So, thoughts on Black Mirror Season 6, including Supernatural episodes? I'm not a fan. The episodes themselves were fine. Like, if they were in a separate series, that's fine. That's not what Black Mirror is.
That is Mr. Myers is causing a communication through electronic means.
Correct. That is correct, Your Honor.
Just want to make sure I was hearing you correctly.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I do have, I don't know if we're at this point, a statement, if you would like me, a closing statement.
Well, I'll hear from Mr. Myers, and then you get the last word.
Thank you.
Mr. Myers, your thoughts on all this?
Can I go rebut with some of the stuff she said?
It's your time
Okay.
to make an argument.
Perfect. So, as you said, sir, you brought up the original harassment, however, but because this was a voicemail, that falls under 132916 electronic harassment. And also, in the injunction for harassment
Oh, one of the arguments he's about to make here is hilarious.
statute 12-1809, subsection E, it literally says, the court shall review the petition on file and any evidence offered by the plaintiff, including evidence harassment by...
Could you just slow down a little bit? I'm trying to listen to you, but you're going off
My
too
bad.
fast.
I would get worried that you're going to cut me off. I'm sorry. The court, this is, I'm reading a section of the injunction for harassment in and of itself statute, 12-1809. You know, it lists them, and then what is considered an act for harassment. For the purpose of this section, for the purposes of an injunction for harassment, the law is written a little different. The harassment you stated is not the legal definition for an injunction for harassment. 12-1809 E says if any evidence of electronic harassment needs to be reviewed, and then that falls under the electronic statute 132916, use of an electronic communication to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass, unlawful use of electronic device, and that covers social media. That law is newer because social media is a newer thing than the harassment law. The Arizona State Legislature recently made 132916, and it says it covers use of electronic, because we can all admit the first and initial 912 was a voicemail on an electronic machine, from my electronic machine to her electronic machine, and that's very clear in here that under 132916.
Cocktail Lounge on YouTube says, I really like the Ray Bradbury Theater. My two favorite episodes are Gotcha and The Town Where No One Got Off. The Town Where No One Got Off is one of the best ones. That's the Jeff Goldblum episode I told you guys about the other day. Really great. Good stuff. I guess I don't remember Gotcha. At least not off the top of my head.
C This section does not apply to constitutionally protected speech or activity or to any other activity authorized by law. And when I'm saying that this is First Amendment protected activity, because like you said, she made no statements about me giving her the videos or sending them and saying, look at this, or any of that, or okay. I said, here's her contact info if you want to redress your grievances with this public official. I didn't say call her and tell her about my case with her husband. I said, if you don't feel, there's more to, I do think she had something to do with my wife getting fired as a law clerk across the street, but that's a different thing. And so that's more defamation, but we're not. So electronic does not apply to constitutionally protected speech. Also, this alleged electronic harassment took place at her workplace, the
Oh, this is great. This is the argument I was talking about.
University of Arizona. That would fall under workplace harassment. And
he thinks because he went to her place of employment and harassed her at work, it becomes workplace harassment. That's not how that works. You would have to be an employee there as well. You would have to be her boss or subordinate or coworker. You would have to be working there. Just because you go to someone's place of work to harass them doesn't make it workplace harassment. That's not what that is.
in workplace harassment, 12-18-10, injunction against workplace harassment, section M, this section does not, M2, permit a court to issue an injunction that prohibits speech or other activities that are constitutionally protected or otherwise protected by law, including actions involving labor disputes, all that. That doesn't really apply to me, but okay. And so, I wasn't residential.
None of it
picketing.
applies to you.
And that's just I'm just saying what applies to me, the protected speech, constitutionally protected activity. And then this case has been settled in the area. I know she had hers, but LaFaro versus Cahill made this very, very, very clear. First, there's only one direct contact. That's the voicemail, sir. The voicemail, I called, I left that. We're not here to argue that. That was me, I left it on 9/12. Left that voicemail. That's the one instance of direct contact electronically through the medium of electricity.
2019, it was announced that Fremantle and the Jim Henson Company, in conjunction with Neil Gaiman, were doing a reboot of The Storyteller. No updates. I'm sure that got canceled due to a variety of reasons at this point, including COVID, actor strikes, writer strikes, shit that happened with Neil Gaiman personally that made it out that he's a huge piece of shit. So I'm guessing that's not happening.
To her voicemail. The rest of them, I made video.
Oh, the Trans Cocktail Lounge says, Gotcha is the episode concerning a couple that starts dating, and after a while, the girlfriend wants to spice things up by giving him a night of supernatural thrills. That is a good episode. It's like an allegory for, like, abuse and sexual abuse. Really good stuff. At least that's how I read it. That's a great episode. Agreed.
Videos on my YouTube channel. That's my first, and I do own Freedom Productions, which is a news and media company in Arizona. So the fact she didn't know I was a news reporter, that's not necessarily my fault. She should have maybe done her research. I own a news company in the state of Arizona. I'm a news reporter. It's registered with the Secretary of State. So, this is what I do for a living. I do news reports. And so, also, in LaFaro versus Cahill, now I'm going to jump, because it said for under E, back to the original statute for the burden of proof to get an injunction in the first place. E was, we need to look at the electronic evidence in the light of the electronic harassment statute, because the harassment one applies to direct face-to-face or nearby type thing. And then, so for the purposes of the section of the injunction, that's under T, 12-1809T. For the purposes of an injunction for harassment means a series of acts over any period of time that is directed at a specific person and that would cause the reasonable person to be seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed.
In his defense, it's not my fault she didn't know her stalker works for a news company. He's saying that because he claims to be a reporter and considers himself a reporter, that it isn't harassment. Be clear, by reporter, he has a YouTube channel. Now, I understand you don't need to literally be working for, like, a big news station to be the press. You don't need to work for CNN or MSNBC or ABC. I know. But I do think we're stretching it a little bit when anyone with a YouTube channel can be like, I can harass you, and it's not harassment because I'm the press. Like, that's not how this works.
The conduct, in fact, seriously alarms, annoys, or harasses.
You're talking fast again.
My bad.
True, Golden Loki. Reporters can harass people.
It means that it's a series of acts, you know, that would
Reminds me a little bit of when sovereign citizens think they can trespass because they're the, quote, press. Like, they don't understand that it wouldn't matter if you worked for the AP. You're not allowed to trespass. Like, your First Amendment right to, like, press doesn't mean you are allowed to go anywhere in pursuit of a story and you can't get in trouble. Like, someone who works for CNN can't be like, yeah, I broke into this building and they can't arrest me because I'm trying to report news. Like, that's not how this works.
I'm just gonna read it word for word. That
You don't
would
need to do that. I have the statute right here.
perfect. So I'm focusing on the legitimate purpose part, and you opened with that, so we're on the same page there.
So tell me what the legitimate purpose was for listening to that voicemail that was Exhibit 1.
For listening to it or sending it?
Sending it,
For,
I'm sorry.
to ask her if there was any programs, because as it states, I mean, I feel like she wasn't completely truthful about her job. It says it right here on the website when you put her name in, that she's the Director of Special Projects at the James E. College of Law. As a member of the Dean's Office, Shannon manages important strategic matters, projects, and relationships, working with a variety of stakeholders that are both internal and external to the College of Law.
So what special project were you calling?
I was calling to see if they, similar to what you asked, I wanted to know if there was any relationship between the U of A Law School and the city's prosecutor's office, where there was any, you know, inside ex parte, whatever you want to call it, type stuff going on there, because Stacey Jane has the access to justice, and I wanted to go use it.
To my ear, when I heard that voicemail, your tone of voice did not seem professional. Your language did not seem professional. You used vulgarity.
I didn't use vulgarity.
Well, maybe that's
That was the voicemail somebody else left.
Maybe that's in the eye of the listener.
That was a different voicemail.
Help me understand why that's.
Because I can. It's my First Amendment activity, and I only did it once. And it's my right to, as a news reporter, to call her and address.
If it's your First Amendment right, why did you feel the need to qualify it by saying you only did it once? I don't normally feel the need to equivocate on stuff I don't think is illegal. I don't need to be like, sure, I ate one of these chips, but I only did it once. I'm allowed to eat as many of these chips as I want. You know what I mean?
Her in my way. I didn't tell her I was going to threaten her, hurt her, any way, shape, or form.
What's the legitimate purpose for going to her office?
To interview her, to see if she got my wife fired. Because so the reason 912 was the voicemail, right? Within 2 hours of 912, my wife was getting an award she was a law clerk for a federal judge across the street. At 2 p.m., she was getting an award on 912. At 3 p.m., she was getting sent home because somebody called over there, and I believe it was Miss Walker.
And the legitimate purpose for including Miss Walker's contact information in the YouTube videos and asking your followers to reach out to her?
Constitutionally protected activity, and I'm going to make that argument right now. So under LaFaro versus Cahill, injunction harassment...
Calling his shot like billiards. I'm going to make that argument right now. All right, let's go.
Which prohibited alleged harasser from any in-person contact with alleged harassment victim was unconstitutionally overbroad because of its infringement of alleged harasser's constitutional rights to free speech. Alleged harasser was restrained from engaging in political speech in alleged harassment victim's presence. So what it's saying is I can go there. In this, very clearly it says that I can go there, and just because she felt harassed, it literally defines what legitimate purpose is in this case. And so it's defined the fact that you have to have more than, the in-person contact part, that is not, because I have the right to go there and ask her for an interview. And another point I want to make is that she claimed that she contacted her colleagues, the University of Police Department, all that, on 9/23 or on 12 after I left that voicemail. She claims that. But then I went there on October 9th to the law library building. Are you familiar with the building? There's the law library in the bottom, and then there's offices upstairs at the U of A Law School.
Vaguely, it's been a while.
All right. Well, that's the building we're talking about. We're talking about there's the law library and then there's offices upstairs. So she's saying that when I first left that voicemail, she called the U of A police and they told her to take her name tag down, right? And all her colleagues were worried. But then when I went there on October 9th, instead of them seeing me and they all knew I was trying to harass her, instead of them saying, oh, sir, she's...
I don't think that would be stochastic terrorism. I think that's a pretty loosey-goosey use of the word terrorism. But it's definitely intended to harass. I don't remember if they already did or if they go over this, but they do talk about within the harassment code that they're referencing. It's, activities, I'm paraphrasing, so it might be phrased slightly different than this, but it was something along the lines of either making contact directly or through third parties. And I do believe in this case, the people he urged to call count as through third parties. The civil or criminal, this is civil, because they're talking about a protection order.
not here, let's call the police. Oh, we were told to call something. They said, literally, sir, hold my hand, we'll walk you right to her office. These colleagues that were supposed to be so frightened of what's going to happen to Shannon, in the video, you'll watch them say, she's right over here, and I say, no, I don't want to go to her office. They say, oh, it's fine, it's open to the public. You can walk right over there, I'll go with you. So these colleagues that were put on notice, this crazy man was stalking and harassed her. When this crazy man showed up at her work, they literally, first, I met somebody in the basement, not the basement, the first floor, long before I went to her. I said, hey, do you know where Shannon Walker's office is? She could have said, hold on, let me give you a second, and go and call, hey, there's this guy here, he's the guy, he's looking for you, what's going on? Is there something we should be worried about? None of that.
Mr. Myers, I understand the argument you're trying to make there. Go on to your next point.
Okay, thank you. So the statute authorizing injunction against harassment is not unconstitutional in all its potential, but it cannot be construed to exclude political speech from the definition of harassment, okay? So in context of injunction against harassment, a single incident is insufficient to support a finding of harassment, which requires a minimum of 2 incidents. That's in Wood v. Abril Appeals Court 2018, right? State statutes concerning orders of protection do not authorize their use to discourage people from yelling or engaging in harassment of the type prescribed by statutory provision that governs injunction against harassment, nor do they authorize the use of firearms restrictions to provide incentives for positive behavior or to teach people a lesson about civilized conduct. And you said it, I sounded...
You're talking awfully fast again.
I'm sorry. You referred my language being uncivilized. That's legal. That's what Mayhar v. Acuna, Appeals Court Division 2, 2012 says, that you can't use an injunction harass to teach me how to act civil. Conversation between alleged harasser and third party did not... Hey, you guys, calm down back there. Did not meet statutory...
He has some of his YouTube followers are in court with him, and they were getting ruckus.
Definition of harassment under statute authorizing injunction against harassment. So the third party being my YouTube...
Stop talking to the gallery. What are you doing?
Hey. State statutes concerning orders of protection do not authorize...
Does he think that holding his hand up like this makes the point better? Like, it's more official if he orates while making gesticulations randomly with his hand. I don't think that's how that works. I say that as a pretty wild gesticulator myself. It doesn't help. It makes you look crazy.
Excuse me. Conversation between alleged harasser and third party did not meet statutory definition of harassment under statute authorizing injunction against harassment. Even though alleged harassment victim may have overheard a segment of a conversation, alleged harassing act was not directed at alleged victim. That's LaFar.
It's really hard for me to pay attention when you're going so fast.
My bad.
My brain turns off.
I feel you. I'm trying to. Conversation between alleged harasser and third party did not meet statutory definition of harassment under statute authorizing injunction against harassment. Even though alleged harassment victim may have overheard a segment of conversation, alleged harassing act was not directed at alleged victim. That's again LaFaro versus Cahill, because essentially my YouTube channel is the third party, sir. So when I'm speaking to many third parties, we never refer to it as a 10 party. Whether she's one party, I'm the other party, a third party.
Why shouldn't I either find explicitly or by inference that by giving Ms. Walker's contact
Am I
information...
suggesting he isn't a legal expert? I'm not suggesting it. I'm stating it.
complaining about her and encouraging people to contact her, that's not you causing a communication with her.
Oh, absolutely. We have the right to communicate with her. I want as many people possible to contact.
I'm very confused why you're asking if I'm mad at Nelson Mandela. What? 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 I don't know what the punchline to this is going to be, but like, I'm intrigued.
And they're going to keep contacting her under the First Amendment. Why didn't she get an injunction against that guy?
And why do you think that it's appropriate?
Because the Supreme Court has ruled on this. I'm going to read it to you.
Finish, please. Why
Okay.
do you think it's appropriate for you, in this case?
No, I'm not mad at Nelson Mandela.
To encourage others to call Ms. Walker.
Okay, that's it. All right. Glad. Thanks for letting me participate in your survey.
To complain about things.
The people that pay her paycheck have the right to call her anytime they want, as long as they don't threaten her under true threats, which is what I'm going to read right now.
And you think you're allowed to cause other people to contact her on your behalf?
Absolutely, that's what the news does. They put out a news report and people call, and you know, just what you just said. I can go home right now and make a video saying, "Hey, call Griffin and tell him he doesn't know what he's doing." You can't get me in trouble for it. I've done it with Judge Walton when she issued this. So where's the ticket? Where's the charge? You can't stop me. Those same people that called her called Judge Walton as soon as this was issued. I don't see nobody getting charges. I don't see nobody getting injunctions. And what they said to Judge Walton was way worse than what they said in that video.
All right, we got about 2 more minutes, and then I'll hear from Ms. Walker.
Sound judicial policy ordinarily motivates us to avoid addressing constitutional issues unless absolutely necessary to resolve a case. LaFaro has failed to establish the statutory requirements for relief under ARS 12-1809, the injunction for harassment. However, we feel, and that deficiency is sufficient to vacate the injunction. Okay. However, we feel compelled to address the unconstitutional application of 12-1809 to permit an injunction placing significant restrictions on Cahill's freedom of speech. The injunction against Cahill was unconstitutionally brought because of its infringement on his First and 14th Amendment right to free speech. I also want to say that the injunction took away my right to the public law library, which is my 14th Amendment. It's a designated public forum, First Amendment protected liberty interest. To take away the law library, I need pre and post deprivation due process under procedural due process. So
I mean, did you think about that before you harassed someone on the property that has the public law library? Thought. L7TKM, thanks for following.
there's that whole angle too. They took away my right to go to a public building because she felt some way. That's also unconstitutional. The injunction against Cahill, 14th Amendment, that's what I was saying, as well as Cahill's right to free speech under the Arizona Constitution. We conclude that 12...
Myers, you're reading from the Cahill case. I've read it a number of times.
All right.
I'm well familiar.
All right.
Do you have anything else you want to stress?
I want to get this on the record for my appeal.
You don't have to. You've referenced the case.
He's already planning the appeal. And I know that you need to, I know you do need to plan and make sure that you have things preserved for appeal, but it is funny that he's already there.
So everyone can pull up that case, it'll be there. It's in the record. Any sort of case that you refer to has been reported. The appellate court can pull it up themselves and read it. So,
Wow. So what, you want some more, you want a different one you're saying than that?
no, I'm giving you about a minute to finish your argument before I hear from this guy.
Okay. Then we got Counterman versus Colorado. The Supreme Court held the First Amendment permits restrictions upon the content of speech in a few limited areas. Among these historic and traditional categories of unprotected expression is true threats. True threats are serious expressions conveying that a speaker means to commit an act of unlawful violence. The existence of a threat depends not on the mental state of the author, like you said, but on what the statement conveys to the person on the receiving end. So my mens rea doesn't come into that. Yet the First Amendment may still demand a subjective mental state shielding some true threats from liability. That's because bans on speech have the potential to chill or deter speech outside their boundaries. And important to prevent that outcome is to condition liability on the state showing of a culpable mental state. That kind of strategic protection.
Mr. Myers?
What?
Again, you're just reading from a case.
That's what you do. You cite case laws.
You need to use them to form an argument. You cite case law. You don't just read it. You cite it, and then you use that citation to make an argument as it pertains to the current situation. You don't just go, I pulled this from the Wikipedia, let me read it. You need to make a coherent, a cogent argument with the citation.
Just read from the case.
You do. I'm citing a paragraph in the case.
We have limited time.
You don't get. I have as much time as I need to make my arguments.
We have limited time. You have
That's your fault. Then continue it till tomorrow, and we'll keep going.
I will not.
You don't get to just tell me I only get 5 minutes to talk.
I actually do. I get to manage my courtroom how I think is proper.
So this-
You don't have to agree with it. You got 30 seconds more to tell me what that is. I've read that case. I'm aware of that case.
So why are we still standing here?
Well, because I need to hear both sides and then make up my mind. Anything else?
Natalie
you wanna-
Lawyer Chick and Devin from Legal Eagle would have a field day with this, or just spend the entire time head desking. Natalie's great, and I never think of him as Devin. It's weird to hear Legal Eagle called Devin. Devin. He doesn't look like a Devin to me. Legal Eagle.
Say?
M. Scheffler with 100 bits says, this guy is horrible at this, but in comparison to a Sobsit, he's Matlock. True, he's one of the more competent pro se's we've seen, because he actually believes the law exists, at least.
Yeah, that I don't care about contacting her at her house, but you can't take away the law library, and you can't take away my YouTube, and you can't take away my First Amendment right. I called it for what I made it clear.
Amber says, citations should be examples or evidence to support your argument, not the entire argument. Yeah.
I want to know if she had anything to do with my wife, and if not, okay.
All right.
I don't need to contact her for that,
Thank you.
but I can go to the law school.
Thank you. Ms. Walker, you get the last word? I'm still struggling with that last sentence.
Well, you'll struggle with it all the way to this special action.
Mr. Myers, you interrupted me again. It's rude. It's not nice. It's unprofessional.
I know.
Please stop that. Ms. Walker, Mike, can you address my concern? Again, I just think the language is broad. I understand why you want it. I'm just not sure it's constitutionally allowed.
I believe because it applies to me specifically, Your Honor, because it has caused me more emotional distress than I can really mention here. I feel harassed, I feel threatened, I feel frightened. I couldn't put my children in this injunction against harassment because I knew exactly what Mr. Myers would do. I don't know what his followers would do. I don't know if they would try to look them up or call their school. This is fear I've had every single day. And Mr. Myers and his YouTube channel and his followers who are here in the courtroom, I don't know any of these people who are recording me right now because I work at a law school and I'm married to a prosecutor. I find that very hard to understand, that I'm getting phone calls saying I should be raped and thrown in prison.
I don't agree with
Mr.
that.
Myers told them to
Then stop sending people to harass her!
call me.
You sent YouTube commenters on her! That should violate the Geneva Convention.
Over something that is not true. And even if it was,
No offense, YouTube commenters.
Mr. Myers' wife, who I have never met, I don't know if she even exists, has other legal remedies that she can follow other than her husband getting on YouTube, making false claims.
My members only streaming today? No, next Sunday is gonna be the member and patron only stream.
About me questioning my ethics and my morals, my professionalism, and making my life what it has been for the past 3 months.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna take a short recess and think about this, and I'll come back and I'll give you my decision. Once I leave, all the recording devices need to be turned off, please.
Thanks, James.
All rise.
What's it? What, again with the...
Thank you.
What? Huh?
Please.
All rise. Thank you. You may be seated,
Sure.
sir. When I say all rise, that means everybody, okay? Thank you.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Not right now,
All right.
not on the record.
Thank you. That's kind of what I meant. Can I say something to her, like, politely?
Not right now, sir.
All right, cool.
No, you're here for allegedly harassing her. You think the judge wants you talking to her, especially off the record? No! What are you doing? Could be a stim, I don't know. I don't know. Skip forward a actual.
Now is back on the. Give me one of those. All right, we are back on the record. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. All this paperwork is now online, and I'm not the best typist, so that's why it took me a little while. What I'm going to do now is tell you what I'm going to do generally. I'm going to explain why I'm doing it. When I'm done, I'll see if anybody has any questions or wants to make more of a record. I'll start with...
Why is he angry? Because he doesn't think he should be here. He doesn't think what he's doing is harassment. People very rarely think they're the bad guy. Even when you're doing something bad, people usually justify it because we understand our actions through the lens of intent. No one else does. They understand it through the lens of what its effect was. This is called fundamental attribution error, psychologically. Basically, we always judge ourselves by intent and others by their action. Generally, as a rule.
Plaintiff, and then we'll go to the defendant. Here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be affirming the injunction. I am going to be modifying it, however, and I'll talk about the modification and why I'm modifying it in a minute. In terms of my findings, I am finding that the plaintiff is credible and she is believable, that she definitely feels like she's being harassed. I found everything that she told me, not only about her feelings and what she's going through, but also just the facts, her summary of the videos. I'm finding that she's all credible there. I don't feel the need to look at the videos. I think both the parties have told me about them. As for the defendant, I am not finding him credible. I do not believe much of what he said. In particular, when he laughed, in my opinion, and I'm finding that he laughed and was excited about the voicemail from the third party and the awful things that were said about the plaintiff.
Objection, Your Honor.
You can't object to what I'm saying.
I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want. I'm getting the feeling that, doesn't know what he did was wrong.
No, but it is rude. I'm just explaining myself.
You're being rude too, gaslighting me by telling me what I meant when I told you my girlfriend texted me.
And no one believes you, because they saw it.
A chance later to talk about. I'm making a finding.
Gaslighting you. Christ.
In fact,
It's not a finding of fact, it's a finding of opinion. It's literally called an opinion.
It's called an opinion, but in court, when we're talking about the actual thing we're there to decide, it's called, who decides it is called the finder of fact. So in a jury trial, the finder of fact is the jury. In a bench trial, it's the judge. So he is the finder of fact, and the actual, like, writing he does is his opinion, but it is a finding of fact. These are just the words that are used by the court. It just is what it is, man. You're not gonna get a gotcha by being like, you call it an opinion and a finding of fact. Like, yeah, it's fine. You didn't catch a glitch. Just how it's called, just what it's called.
We'll disagree on that. So those are my credibility determinations. I am finding that there are a series of acts. I think the first voicemail from the defendant qualifies.
Feels like this is worse because of Trump. He takes so many shots at the courts. Probably. And can you blame him? I find the courts to be less legitimate than they used to be. Don't get me wrong, if I was in court, I would treat it with respect because I know that's better for me. But overall, as an institution, after everything that's happened in the last decade, oh yeah, I'm sure a ton of people all across the spectrum have much less good things to think about courts in general.
The YouTube videos qualify. I believe the defendant was encouraging third parties, directly or indirectly, to make calls.
Basically, you can tell the legal system works just fine, and in fact, overzealously when it punishes the poor. But if you're not poor, well then I guess you can just do whatever you want, especially if you're powerful in other ways, you know? The rule of law is kind of a suggestion, as it turns out, which is a bit of a shame, you know.
Going to the court was another act. Finding that I referenced the statute earlier, ARS 13-2921.
Doesn't apply.
He stop interrupting me, I will give you a chance.
Quit gaslighting the people, sir.
I will give you a chance to make the record. The statute talks about contacting or causing a communication. I believe and I'm finding that the defendant has caused third parties to communicate with the plaintiff through those YouTube channels.
That's going to get overturned on appeal.
Explicitly and encouraging them to contact her. Cases that support that are King versus Seba, S-E-B-E-A, 2012 Westlaw 209751, paragraph 25. That case talks about a defendant who made calls to building employees and others with the
Calls, not call.
with the intent to
Calls, not call.
Sir, if you interrupt me again, I'm going to ask you to leave.
I'm about to leave. Voluntarily.
You can't fire me, I quit. I mean, you can't kick me out, I'm leaving.
You're not going to get a chance to make your record.
You're getting overturned on appeal with whether I do or not.
So
You think walking out of the court's gonna look good on your appeal?
you're warned.
You've been warned you're getting sued, too.
All right.
You're gonna try and personally sue the judge over this? That's not gonna happen.
Asking you to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that'll be posted on, somebody will mail it to me or something?
We're going to give it to you right now.
Cool,
Just
thank
sign
you.
right here for me saying that you got it.
Taking my ball and going home.
Sign this right here, saying that you got
Right
it.
here? Cool. You guys can talk amongst
Do you want
yourselves.
Do you want your disc, your little flash drive back?
I thought it was on the record for appeal.
Hold on, let me check. Let me get this understood. Oh.
Signature and here's your exhibit.
Sign here. and-
Why is my exhibit not being turned in for the appeal? That's what we turned exhibits in, for the record for appeal.
You've lost your chance to be here. You keep interrupting me.
That doesn't mean I lost my chance to put an exhibit on the record.
If you want to go outside
Just
and
sign
come
this
back
right
in
here.
5 minutes after you calm down and follow the rules, I'll let you.
He's giving him a timeout. If you go out and wait 5 minutes, do you know how long 5 minutes is? When the big hand goes from this number to the next number, that's 5 minutes. So when the big hand goes from this number to the next number, if you're calm, you can come back in and try again, mister.
But right now, you're not following the rules. You need to leave.
It's your choice.
Should you want me to leave my stuff here?
You want to come back in 5 minutes?
That needs to be, yeah, sure.
All right, go outside.
Turn off your.
I don't need to turn off my recording.
Yeah, it has to be on your person.
Then I'm not, then I'm just leaving. What am I signing?
Sign right
But I'm
here.
just leaving.
If this isn't on the record, you're getting sued, you know that. So I'm gonna leave it right there. You don't get to tell me I don't get to put an exhibit in because I hurt your feelings, Your Honor.
Put behind your.
See you in court, Your Honor.
Oh my god, look at his sunglasses. He's got douchebag Ray-Bans. Like, he's got the photos that you'd see in, like, middle-aged men's dating profiles where they're holding a fish. Look at those sunglasses in his pocket. We did it!
I'll be filed on the appeal when I walk downstairs. Notice of appeal will be filed when I get downstairs and the special action against you. So is that getting in, or I need to put a special action on that too?
Please leave, sir.
Is that being taken into evidence or not?
You are violating a court order right now by not leaving.
Hold me in contempt, bro. I dare you.
I call
Hold me in contempt, bro! I dare you!
you, bro, is very disrespectful. By cussing at me and throwing things at my staff.
The judge should have held him in contempt right there. That's absurd.
All right, if we can have the minute entry note that the defendant has left. If the minute entry can note that on his way out, the defendant repeatedly cussed at the judge. If the minute entry could note that the defendant, what is that called? A flash drive towards my staff. If the minute entry could note that the court repeatedly ordered the defendant to leave after warning him that he wasn't following the rules. He failed to do so, continuing to violate a court order. I'll now continue to explain my thought process. I'll add to the credibility determinations the defendant's conduct on his way out lends to my credibility determination about him that I do not find him credible at all. The other case that supports my application of ARS 13-2921, I think is State versus Snyder. That is 2024 Westlaw 342301, and specifically paragraph 16. That case talks about the defendant posting videos, and talks about several people contacting the plaintiff about the videos posted by the defendant, and talks about holding the defendant responsible for the resulting communication of those third parties not being so extraordinary that it would be unfair. So I think that case supports my factual findings. I do think that all of these acts that I've mentioned were directed at the plaintiff. I can totally understand why she is alarmed, scared. I think not only a reasonable person would be, but I think almost any person would be. I think it'd be unreasonable not to do. I'm finding that there's no legitimate purpose for any of these acts. And in fact, I'm specifically finding that I think the defendant's purpose is specifically designed to harass and bug and annoy. And I think his conduct during this hearing has confirmed that. That said,
she's tearing up. I imagine it's quite relieving to hear. And I don't know if the guy's going to listen to the order, but at least she's getting the order that she deserves, and she can take further action if he continues to harass her.
The order that I've sent, and I'll make sure that the plaintiff gets a copy of the order that I've signed, does affirm that the defendant is to have no contact with the plaintiff, not to go near a protected location. The other orders is what I've changed. The defendant must have no direct or indirect contact with plaintiff through any form of social media. That was basically...
he's not going to listen, but here's the thing. Now that there's the order, if he doesn't listen, he can get put in jail. So...
Before. The defendant must not post or place plaintiff's contact information, including her work information, on any social media platform. Defendant must not, through social media or otherwise, directly or indirectly encourage third parties to contact plaintiff or to go to a protected location. What I'm trying to do there is balance the defendant's constitutional rights.
He's going to say he's filing an appeal and therefore he doesn't care what the order says. He'll still get arrested. Doesn't matter. He can say whatever ignorant thing he would like. It won't make a difference.
The right of this plaintiff not to be harassed. I think I've done that. I've tried to do that. We'll just note that I was going to give the defendant an opportunity to hear those restrictions and convince me if I should do something else, put different wording in there. He has chosen not to participate anymore in the hearing, so to the extent he had any insight on that, we don't have it. We don't have the benefit of it. Ms. Walker, anything I'm missing, more of a record or findings that you want me to make?
Yeah, me too, Trey. Me too.
One thing that, Your Honor, I have wondered about, just that goes to my fear of Mr. Myers, is that I don't believe he's been ordered to not have any weapons. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, the rest of it, there's like 2 minutes left. All that happens is she asks, is there any chance that they could get an order preventing him from having any weapons? So like knives, guns, stuff like that. And the judge says, there's not really evidence at this time to substantiate that, but if he makes any threats or contacts, or if there's anything that comes up vis-a-vis weapons or further escalation, to file with the court and he will do something. But he found that basically at this point, while he is harassing her, there's not anything so far that's been about weapons or threats of weapons, so he can't do an order for that. But either way, at least the harassment was confirmed, and he has to stay away or go to jail, because that guy needs a lot of help. He is, he's something. So that's going to be it for us today. We're a little short today, but that's okay. It's a Sunday. It's pretty chill. I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow because it's a Monday, but I will be back Tuesday for Tinfoil. We'll have tons of new conspiracy nonsense for Tinfoil Tuesday Bingo, and we'll hang out and have a good time. Maybe we'll do a long one. That kind of sounds fun. Maybe we'll do like 4 hours instead of 3, something like that. Okay, so let's see who we're going to raid here on Twitch. Also, if you are from the raid and you haven't yet, consider following. We do streams almost every day, and we have a great community that's inclusive and supportive. And we try to keep our minds off some of the scarier things in the world right now. So maybe consider hanging out in the future. Have fun and, you know, watch weird stuff. So, let's see, who are we gonna raid? Mooncats Live.
Why?
Your parents don't love you. That's what I was thinking. I still miss the chili.
We'll raid Mooncat.
Friends pro players are using. And
all right. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you Tuesday. Stay cool and stay out of court. Don't harass people. Not great. All right, have a good night, everyone. Rats Links, thanks for following. Later.